Go.
Alrighty, welcome to the first rendition of the Site Delta podcast. I'm your host, Shadow Jaffa, and my co-host here is What Is That Now? We have three guest speakers today. One is the O5X herself, Infinifia, the O5-4 of EC, it's Caden T. Lowell, and a very special warm welcoming to General Jeroy.
All right.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We have four topics today. First, we have the comeback of Site Delta. Second is old mobile task forces returning. The third is recent security department announcement. We'll get on that. We'll get onto that later, and then we'll finish this off with quotas. Starting with comeback of Site Delta.
So
Yeah.
like literally all that happened and all that had to happen was like 4 years of updates got reverted and now suddenly there's like 70 people in game. Like, can you believe that shit? It took.
Pretty
So,
No,
like,
I
insane.
can't.
what went wrong the first time then? Because there were 4 years of updates where literally the game was dead. What went wrong?
Well, I guess you could in turn point with the lack of good updates with Novus was that a lot of bad developers that are on lineup. We won't name drop anybody, of course. We're going to be respectful.
Of course.
So I think that just reverting it back to old Delta kind of brought a spark back, and that now that the development team is actually engaged with the community, making polls and having like weekly updates, just keeping the game alive, and we'll just probably have more players in the near future.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought on the situation too, because I feel like it was like lack of interest shown by the development team. Like, yeah, during those 4 years they might have been pushing updates, but other than that, they'd say, "Hey guys, new update," and you'd never hear from them for a bit. You wouldn't see them in game really. Like, there might have been a few, but largely most of the administration was kind of just silent, and it did not at all help the community.
I think I can give some internal insight of what I think happened, as I was close with Blaspera when he was head development. What I noticed is that there was a lot of there was like conflicts between the dev head and communication with O5s and other departments. They unfortunately were mostly focused on guns, the combat system mostly. So because they needed the funds from selling guns, as it was a combat system with the rioting CDs and the combative departments making more money for the site, but there's less focus on civics, and being on site just wasn't that fun anymore because you couldn't even like do SCD tests without there being a riot all the time.
I would sorry for the intrusion, but we have a horde outside.
I know, I'm getting messages right now. Who is this?
It's all of A1.
As well, going off to that as well with the administration at the time, with the O5X at the time, 515, he had something with the activity on Delta because of, again, his first week he did what everybody wanted to happen. Stain Dead removed. I think was Lego Bite removed at the same time, or was that somebody else?
I can't remember.
I actually think Lego Bite was removed before that.
Yeah, and then after like that week, it goes to show with 5 Bones 5. Lego Stain and Zenti were removed, I believe, during that time. And with 5 Bones 5 as overseer head, yes, he did some good stuff, but that good stuff is outweighed by the crap job he did, which in turn point probably caused a lot of the tension between the community and the developers. Because again, they were focusing more on, as well as what you said, Infi, with combative stuff, but they also are making these stupid dev specs that had no real thing on the game, and just for developers to have fun, while the community just is starved of content.
Like, Bones had a solid rookie season. I'll give him that, man. He was a good prospect, but he just later in the season it kind of dipped. Can't blame him. Stuff might have happened.
I mean, he literally became one of the most hated people in the entire group. So
It was pretty bad towards the end of the season. It was.
it was pretty miserable.
It was pretty.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of cleanup.
Mhm.
Yeah, so going back to like we have with the constant updates that we have had. I mean, they stopped posting them in update logs, but I think the last update in update logs was just 3/12/2024 is when Blast updated the game, and there was not really a good update. Let's just call it that much.
It was just.
But when we get to the point where, like, when Site Delta was reversed, it was mainly Endo made a ping. Endo has been a great developer for us, so as well as all the other developers like Kiwi, Creepy, and all that. But when Endo came in and started doing a lot of stuff with Creepy, with Kiwi, the game has changed. Like Delta has had over 20 people in game at like all times after they came in,
And
and it's like it.
I think the
You
reason
can go.
why, one of the reasons why is that the game kind of died. I don't know who said this. I think it was either Oh God Yes or someone like that. I heard that you guys were taking criticism and suggestions from like a small group of people, and not from everyone else, which I think led to the downfall. And like, look at this now. You got Endo doing polls every single day, which is bringing the community in together.
And these are like even farther than just development as well. Like we saw the poll about quota. Like I mean, that is a big topic that shouldn't just be decided by like 5 people. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's also important to recognize that the suggestions channel has been being used a shit ton. Like, there's a lot of good ideas that are going through there.
Yep.
and
And
they,
also,
they all
like,
I
they're
mean
they're
they all
being
happen
listened
to be
to.
yours. Some of them have to be
Oh, of
yours.
course, they're all mine.
Yeah, I think
Your
we should give credit to General Droid for his like
your
big presence in the
Yeah,
suggestions.
I have a very big presence in suggestions right
your
now.
recent suggestion was for in game, it was fully remove DA's ambassadors and remove the current DA directorate with
Oh,
20 no's and no
we can talk
yeses.
about DA later.
Okay, what is it now? How much time do we have left on this topic?
We have 5 minutes left. We
Okay,
can always end early.
let's collect ourselves for a second.
Oh,
But then we have to also include all the development polls. The fact that the developers are being transparent with us, they're talking to us, pulling out polls. It's what they're finally listening to the community, and that's just gonna keep activity going up if they keep doing this. Because again, with Blastbra at the helm of development head, there wasn't a lot of polls, and a lot of people were complaining. And when they complain, the developer, well, mainly Blastbra, had a negative tone to those complaints. Like this dev team can now take criticism and ultimately work together to bring out updates on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
You have to keep in mind
Oh.
that the 3 main developers right now are the Creepy, Inari, and Endo. It is those 3, and it's mainly Endo who's guiding the direction of the game as the dev head, and I think he's been taking it in a positive direction. But when you look at those 3, they're the 3 that are doing all the dev work for the game, and they're pushing out a shit ton of updates. So if you're listening, can you go to chimp posting and like ping those 3 and say thank you? Because that'd just be a nice thing, and they deserve
Yeah,
it.
to all our live viewers, that'd be much appreciated.
General Droid typing.
Oh my god, I see it.
But like even then, like Endo is keeping it light and whatnot. Like sometimes they'll like post like just something random. Like their Panda Express update, and that kind of just shows involvement with
No
the
one
community.
copies watching this.
Even the first renditions of the new SCP that was just added, where a lot of the renditions were like people saying in like chimp posting that it looks like a butthole with the new SCP when it was coming
Yeah,
out.
and it got remade, so it doesn't look like a
which was
butthole
good
anymore.
because the community told them to remake it because it literally looked like a butthole.
It was
But-
pretty bad at first.
Closing it in with like all that, now that I believe the combat system has been greatly improved, and with that improvement in the combat system, civil teams can finally get the recognition they deserve. Which a main point is that the most unupdated department is the medical department, because like their whole gimmick would have to rely on dev work. You can't just like keep bringing people in and doing just like MRIs, because they should probably lower the volume on that. That was very loud. Or X-rays or or just a common psychological test.
Yeah.
Now that the combat system is all well rounded out now, civils can finally get the attention they deserve.
Well, you have to keep in mind
Exactly.
that the growth of Delta isn't in fleshing out the combat system. The combat's already fine. If you want to bring new players into the site, you have to bring in solo department players. Because that's not everybody wants to shoot people. They want
Yeah.
to be a little doctor and roleplay, and they want to do tests on cool SCPs. So you
Yeah.
can't really bring in more and more combatives. There's no growth in that anymore. All the focus from now on has to be shifted to civil departments, and I'll tell you that that is coming. So be on the lookout for that.
And I mean, like personally, when I first joined my first SCPF, I joined ENL, the equivalent. Like, I didn't know anything about shooting people. I just wanted to fix doors, explore. Like, who knows? I probably couldn't even pass an SD tryout at that time. Like, new players want to try what they feel like, and not everyone's going to want to go to combatives, as General Droid has said.
Right, exactly. And I think that the future player base, they're not going to be combatives. I think that the people in the group right now, they're possibly the last generation of like hardcore Delta combatives. From now on, it's going to be civil departments that you see. Little level zeros roaming around joining MD, those who know.
Yeah.
All right, this will
Okay,
conclude
all
this.
right.
This will conclude
Yeah.
this topic. We're now moving on to old mobile task forces returning.
Oh, that's probably probably a really good topic
So,
to discuss.
okay, look, this is a good thing because now there's no abilities on site. Like, nobody gets OP ability. You know,
Preach.
Yeah,
E9 has
that
their flamethrower, RC has their thing, and then it's like E11, they don't even have an ability. They just have boosted walk speed and a really fucking good gun that another dev inserted a great job with. You know, there's E9 flamethrower, there's A1 with their baton. There's not a fucking flash step ability anymore. There's no more Silent Night teleporting behind people with the cloak and killing everybody. That shit's gone. So now combat between CDs and combatives can just be permanently balanced. We don't need to
Yeah.
worry about OPS abilities anymore.
It's
yeah,
simplified. It's
that
simplified, and that's what I like
yeah,
about it.
Like, I mean, I remember when I originally joined SD in this group, I mean, it was just shooting. Like, I didn't have to, like, even if I was rioting, I didn't have to worry about not wanting to kill a Silent Night just so they'd appear behind me or anything like that, or 8 of 10 reviving themselves, or someone running up to me and knocking me across the map with the greatsword. Like, that wasn't fun, really. I mean, it might have been fun for the combative, but not for overall gameplay. Like now, even if we look at A1, they receive the VIP tracker, which doesn't at all affect combat, but it helps their duties, which is I feel like what we should have been focusing on stuff that relates to their duties.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With going on to that more, yeah, because like the Great Sword was overpowered, it shouldn't have really been in the game. It's just that I think at that point with Delta, it was more like the deep wokenification of Side Delta, to say the least.
It kind of felt more like a sandbox game. Like it kind of just felt like devs were like, this kind of feels cool to add. Like this
Yeah,
might
I
be
mean,
fun to
stuff
see in
just
game.
started getting thrown into the game. Like,
Yeah,
none of
like
those abilities were really thought out. They just sort of thought, oh, wait, this could be cool, and they added it.
like I remember when Silent Night, because Silent Night kind of like started that. That was the first division that really was like out of the blue. All of a sudden now people can, for the most part, just teleport. Like it's almost comparable to RRT Cloak in a way, which I feel like everyone knows was not the best for gameplay either.
Let's go back to the major topic. Now that with MTF finally like being more active now, they when Delta came back, there was like this one off period in MTF where you just asked to get into a task force. Joko will rank you, and that's how people had a lot of fun. But with that, they have brought back two task forces within MTF, which will be everyone's favorite Psi 8
Oh yeah.
and everyone's least favorite and most hated Iota 10.
Ooh, yeah.
and we did and E9 Epsilon 9 did come back. The Fire Eaters, they're just the recontainment task force.
Classic.
E11 still the same. A1 still the same. But Psi 8 has been working out good. The hits aren't being abused. A lot of funny hits though. I have to say the least. A lot on
Come
yeah. Yeah. Then we go to the most controversial in this topic, Iota 10. Now, I want to. Caden, it's Caden T. Lowell here is an IOTA, and I want you to talk about your current experiences in it without possible leakage of like sensitive stuff.
I mean, to be fair, previously IOTA 10 was loved. Like when IOTA 10 was shut down, I mean that was out of the blue. They all got transfers. Like it was a very surprising thing. And I think a big factor is just how different this IOTA 10 is compared to the previous one. From my experience, the people in IOTA 10 are amazing. Like being in a VC with those people is great. Nothing wrong with it. Like you get to mess around. The Mac 10 is a pretty fun gun, and it's pretty balanced, I'd say, with its low ammo count. But I mean, I feel like it's just how different it is compared to how it previously was. And there are some people that might change others' opinions on it, but I feel like that becomes more of a subjective thing rather than looking at the task force as a whole. So
I think you did that. I think you
Now,
described that well.
thank you. Thank you.
now, we all know who was the officer IOTA 10. Hornets is he's very controversial in a lot of point of views, Cade. Could you tell me a little bit more about that and how he has affected this new IOTA 10?
I mean, well, to be fair, I don't know how much was just Ord's opinions on IOTA 10 or like thoughts on it. Like personally, I have nothing against Ord. He's a chill guy who's chill to talk to. I mean, at the IOTA 10 tryout, like he was legit. He was just doing what he thought was good for the task force. I mean, he has no intent to harm anything with MTF or the group. People might not agree with his opinions or his thoughts, and I mean, again, that comes to a more subjective thing. Like other people might agree with what he's doing or support what's going on. People in or out of IOTA 10. But personally, I wouldn't say I'd put all the blame on one person. Like, I mean, I could be put at some blame with IOTA 10. Who knows? But
You
yeah.
just have to keep in mind that he has good intentions for the group. It's
Mm.
just they don't end up very well.
Yeah, like it's like I feel like putting all of this hate and negative thoughts on a person is just not good. I mean, on the like, he does not deserve anything. No matter like, I mean, he could probably do something, but like as of right now, or doesn't deserve any hate or any negativity. IOTA, I feel like could be successful. It just needs time. I mean, it's pretty. This at least idea is pretty new. We just need to give it time to change, reform, do what it needs to do to find its place in Delta.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very good response.
Thank you.
Let's go on to what is it now? What is our time right now for this topic?
We have about 5 minutes. We can either move on or keep going on this topic. Up to you guys.
Has everyone got anything else on MTF? We can still talk
No.
about.
Oh, we can talk about E11 and what
Oh
they
yeah.
did.
Oh
So,
yes.
all right.
Oh.
So very
Wait, what?
recently, no, E11 brought in about 10 recruits,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
essentially all these recruits are competing to see who the most active is. Anybody, the 4 people with the least amount of time on site, are going to be kicked from E11.
As an
So
E11.
Wow.
it's pretty much a board like race. All the people care about is getting as much time as humanly possible right now, and so you see a shit ton of E11 in game at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
luckily
mean
though,
that.
it did used to
Oh,
be. It was.
you can,
It was the wild thing about it though is that originally it was not going to be 4. It was going to be 10 people, 10 operatives. That's a wild. That's like because and think about in the before the task force was only 15 people. So that's like that's like 10 out of your 15 people being removed from an
that's like
activity.
a brand new task force
Yes,
at that point.
It's a whole brand new task force.
and what E11 has done, it kind of, I believed, pushed that suggestion to raise task force caps over the edge, because just recently today, I believe, or yesterday at 6:03 p.m., they raised the caps of every task.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think they ended up actually reverting IOTA's cap increase, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, they did. It says IOTA brought back down to 10.
Yeah, so everything else got increased except IOTA, which I mean wouldn't really
Yeah,
dwell
no,
on
really.
that. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
to. But like, I mean, I will say it's a good move for activity because I mean the constant thought of you lacking in activity could just result in someone replacing you.
But then
Like,
eventually
I mean,
that's going to lead to burnt out, and that's probably
it will.
why That's probably why we didn't like
So
Yeah.
the
2 hour,
issue,
3 hour
the issue right now,
quotas.
as soon as this event ends, you're not gonna see any 11 on site. All the 11 are gonna disappear as soon as this event is over,
Except for
because
me.
they'll have played literally 20 hours, like in a 1 week. You're not gonna see them the next week. They're gonna disappear as soon as their spot is confirmed.
Currently
I
the
mean,
most active E11 has like, I think last time I checked was like 14, 15 hours, which is wild.
Eesh.
That's a
within
Oh
like
my
shit ton.
god.
20, no,
within
no,
like a
20
few
hours. It
days.
is 20 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
20
Oh my
hours is
god.
unbelievable, and
that's like
it hasn't even been a week yet.
Mm.
that's what?
And it's not, it was.
Damn, reminds me of
That's 4
me.
football games.
Thank you for the
We're going by,
comparison, Jaffa.
we're going by
Thank
freedom
you.
units.
All right. Is any guys final remarks on the MTF right now?
I mean, as of right now, I mean, look at the leaderboard. I mean, I can see like 20 MTF on right
Yeah,
now. Like,
and
as of now, it's working. So I'll give them that. I just hope they start to look more in the long term of what they're doing.
yeah. Alrighty.
Alright.
Let's move on to our next topic. What is it now?
It is going to be recent security department announcements. Let's start off with the divisions.
Ooh, I do like this. I do like this.
So
Alrighty. So
I was actually asking for SSU to come back, but it regains ARU's duties.
Yeah.
But instead, it sounds like SSU is gonna be
Yeah.
returning under a
You guys
different
can also
name,
she was asking about
and it's
that.
like, you kind of want
Are
the
you guys
old
from her home
SSU
soon? She's
back.
asking
Of course,
about
adding on to that recontainment duty. It kind of sucks that it's basically getting a name change instead of just staying as is.
all right. I do somewhat agree with that, but I do have the worded out information from the SDO5 about this topic.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go over it a little bit. So SSU
not anymore.
is dead, and with this new task force, or not task force, my bad. With this new division, it will basically be combining ARU and SSU together to become this a new elite division in SD. Now they would have RC perms and guarding perm,
Mhm. Yeah.
and uh, and they've opted to have no high com will be transferred, and only established captain and lieutenant will be in until a tryout is hosted.
So,
So
oh,
yeah,
continue.
go ahead if you
Oh,
want to say something.
so I actually didn't hear that before. None of the current ARU command will be transferred, or is it just the captain and lieutenant?
It's just the captain and lieutenant will be transferred in.
Okay, so officers, sergeants, they'll.
Oh wait, hang on.
Because I feel like
Nobody gets transferred in.
Yeah,
so it's going to
so
be
you
a
have to
complete new
keep
high.
in mind
Yep.
Complete
the
new
That
high
is-
com. No captains have been established. It's all going to be fresh and new.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks for the current ARU people, but at the same time, you have to keep in mind that ARU hasn't been doing extremely well in terms of its officers anyways. So this is sort of just a needed reset for that type of
Okay.
stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm getting updating information as we go due to some of our live viewers probably already in there. Recent confirmations is that all of ARU are going to be getting CM when it comes out, and
Okay.
That
CM will have updated tools and a healing gun. Possible TF2 medic combo coming in.
is CM
uh,
confirmed or is that?
and
Oh,
yeah, CM is confirmed, and it will be intended to work closely with the medical department.
sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. Our host actually just got assassinated in the recording room.
Wait, what the fuck?
Oh no.
Alright, who hit a hit?
alright.
Who did a hit on me? Someone know
Okay,
up.
let's all right. Let's calm down.
Alright.
So with that, with combat medics coming, I kind of like that idea that it would work closely with MD because
Fucking
I
Katie.
believe like in lore that would probably be like in lore happen.
And I mean, that would only require development to SD. Like that could benefit MD without having to like, even though MD should get some way more development support, but in their current state, if CM were to come back before that, it would still benefit MD in some way without needing development.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
couple ideas that we have development-wise for both CM and MD. One of
Mm.
which is having MD get the ability to hand out bandages to people, and they're going to be like buffed bandages, not just what you pick up around the site. But also CM's Medigun thing, you can almost think of that as it rewards you for doing damage. Because these aren't just like these aren't just medics, they're not paramedics. You know,
Yeah.
they don't get a med kit that they can just shoot at people.
Mhm.
Rather, you do damage with your main gun, and then you're able to turn some of that damage that you did into healing people around you. So.
Mhm.
That's just the idea for that. Don't think that these people are going to be just pockets. They're called combat medics for a reason. You know.
Yeah. They should be there to fight, but also support combatives.
Right.
Because I mean, MD can already act as paramedics during a
Yeah.
riot. They can
He
run
already
out.
does that a shit
Yeah.
ton, and a majority of MD's activity is actually just running around during paid riots with the med kit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Wait.
that kind of oh my bad. What?
Sorry, Void is just asking if he could step in and join the VC and listen.
Okay.
You can,
Sure.
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
if he doesn't talk, no talking,
We'll,
Voidish.
we'll cut this part out. Only
and,
5 years now.
Insider information, right?
So, with that, yes, going back to that, bringing development to MD, that would be really helpful. We know that combative departments get most of the development because that's what 90% of the gameplay to the current audience of Delta.
Mhm.
But I just brain farted.
All good. All good.
But with that new division coming in, MD would get some spotlight on that. It's small spotlight, but it's big enough for them because it gives them more to do. And I believe that they're having trouble right now figuring out what to do.
I think that's been like always a problem with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I kind of want to circle back to the like SSU remake
This
type
the
of thing
secret
because I
division.
mean, the secret division. I mean, like from what we know, it will take recontainment and guarding, but it won't be under the same name. So I'm wondering if that will that change anything, or will it just be a new name and possibly a new morph with it?
I have it here. It's they're gonna be no established morph has been created right now,
All right.
but they're giving the dev team plenty of time to ensure everything else
Mhm.
on site right now is worked so this before the new division comes.
Yeah.
And they also said with that, with going back to the uh oh yeah, hang on. That's okay, yeah, they have a new name, new morph, nothing worked on yet,
Mhm.
and it's letting devs focus on SCPs and MD. And I want MD to be done and complete. Yeah, okay. So I believe if I screw this up, yell at me in my DMs if you want. But they want MD to be done and completely updated by the time combat medics do come around.
That is good. Looking out for other departments. I like that.
Yeah, and they want to collaborate with other departments, not just MD, I believe,
Yeah.
ensure to have full retention and zero clashing of duties, so that it's completely unique, a unique experience, and it's just going to be this most likely is a big positive step forward into probably more ways that the combatives can go against CDs. Because right now, I mean, the gameplay is kind of boring with the combat, with just shoot. Adding this is probably going to be really good, and and you can have a good variety of combat.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the leaderboard right now, I see 20 CD, 20 MTF, and like maybe like 5 civils. So that is something that definitely focusing on those civils before implementing these SD subdivisions will be really helpful.
Okay. And with that, going back to the division, they'll basically it's 100%. This is 100% intended to target those who love both ARU and SS. If you like recontain, but you like guarding, there's something to join. Probably
And I
help you
mean,
get an A1.
yeah, I was about to say
Alpha
it
one
could be a
for
step into
worship people.
MTF.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, go ahead.
it would. What would you want to say?
I was just gonna say, I mean, this could really be the stepping stone into MTF because you have the recontainment and guarding, and I
Yeah,
mean,
and oh my bad.
it's supposed to be like, let me look back at the announcement. I mean, it's supposed to be a new elite division of the security department, so you'll have that combat already incorporated into it. So you have A1 covered, you have E9 covered, and you have an E11 covered pretty for the most part. You have the combat and recontainment. So I mean, this could really be a good stepping stone for SD that want to get into MTF.
And task
Yeah,
forces will
it's
look at your recontainment skills and combat skills, like obviously,
Mhm.
but I
except
think
for
that'll be
Iota.
except for Iota.
You gotta take an exam.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, the new dynamic of the SC subdivisions would be that one will be suppression, which will be ERU as always. Since again you got Hulks, Juggernauts coming down the hallway with an M249, just guns blazing, dropping ammo. And then you got special operations, which will be this new elite division. And I personally can't wait for this to actually have more information released because this has actually got me kind of excited
Yeah, like
for it. And then back with the combat medics as being the support, that support can help out any combative team,
yeah.
and even our friendly fellows in RRT. We won't people who are high up in combative departments like the most elite divisions. It will actually make sure that stereotype that SD is just full of no aimers, no brainers,
Yeah.
and it would actually garner more respect to security department.
Yeah, I was gonna say something along the lines of that. I mean, like, as of right now, if you like, let's say a paid ride's happening, maybe MTF might see an SD and be like, all right, well, they might not be that much of help. But if they see a combat medic running down and they're at 1 HP, they can't do nothing, and they get that really nice heals. I mean, that's just gonna be insanely helpful for like intercombative communication and like just working together.
Yeah,
hmm
Hmm.
really good. And who anyone else got opinions on this? You can spur it out now.
Well, I mean, this is gonna bring a lot of people who are currently in MTF back into SD, and even people from RT back into MTF and SD, since
Hmm.
there isn't really that part of the community in SD right now. And
Yeah.
what I think is important to recognize is SD is the future combative generation. The people
Hmm.
in it right now, they're working on getting better. They're eventually, all of them are trying to get an MTF, or most of them are at least. And at the end of the day, it's important that they gain the right guidance and they have those role models who are already in SD, leading them to be better and, make it up and be good combatives on the site.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to
Mm-hmm.
extend off your idea of other combatives joining SD, because I don't know if you guys remember, but when Combat Medics originally released on Novus, that was like a 50-member tryout. That had people from RT, MTF, everywhere trying out. That was like insane when it originally released. And I'm pretty sure the same happened for CIU and SK as well. So like this fresh new, well, semi-fresh, it's kind of returning a bit new, will definitely bring in a lot of people like JD said.
Is that everything we got for
Infinite.
any other final
Oh,
words about this?
I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't.
I do. If you don't mind me stepping in here. I'm not too familiar with what you guys are talking about since I just joined about 5 minutes ago, but I've been listening in, and I kind of want to know how you guys are gonna handle. You know how the MD has paramedics, like the paramedics that go out and like heal during riots and stuff. Is that gonna replace that completely, the combat medics and stuff?
Well,
I mean,
absolutely not,
oh,
since as I mentioned before, these combat medics aren't there to be pockets the same way that paramedics are. The paramedics
Okay.
literally can't fight back. These combat medics, on the other hand, they're going to be actually people. They're rewarded for shooting people. These aren't just passive heal abilities. You stand next to someone, they heal. You have to do damage to actually activate those abilities.
interesting.
Okay. I just curious.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious about that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure Jaffa, you previously said you don't want combat medics to overshadow or step in other departments' boundaries. They're purely here to help other departments, not hurt them. So,
yeah.
Sounds good.
yeah.
Uh, oh, retard.
All right, moving on.
All right.
But before we move on, anything else before we move on to our final section?
I mean, should we hear a message from our sponsor, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Our first sponsor today is the scientific department. The overseer permanently joyous was sponsored this Side Delta podcast. If you want to join the scientific department to research SCPs and kill CDs for no reason, then the scientific department is perfect for you.
And our second sponsor for today is from our favorite pudding company, the 999 Pudding Company.
God, I
Please
love some pudding.
stop on by at the nearest vending machine to pick up your pack of 999 pudding.
I'd like to personally endorse them as well, man. They've gotten me through some tough financial times. You know, they're very affordable, very good.
Yeah.
Calories, nutrients, they got everything, man.
Yeah, man.
Makes you feel a bit happy too. Don't know why.
Totally not.
I heard they're paired well with that one soda. What was it? The question mark soda. I
Ah,
think that pairs fine with the pudding.
classic, classic.
What's in
I
the
drink
question
that
mark?
all
We
the
don't
time.
know.
We don't know what's in it.
All right. Let's move on to our final topic for today.
Our final topic will be about quotas. We have talked about this a little bit in the earlier parts, but now we're going to go more in depth about this.
All right, so the issue with quotas is people don't want to play Delta as if it's their job. All right, right now there's no quotas really, so people can get on when they want to. They don't feel forced to play the game. They play it because they want to. It's
Yeah.
not something where it's like, oh shit, I gotta do 3 hours of quota or else I'm gonna get banned. Oh no, that's horrible. It's
Yeah.
something that people actually want to play, and so adding a quota is going to ultimately cause a decrease in activity since people are more focused on doing their quota and then, okay, I'm done for the week. I don't need to play anymore since
hmm
my quota's done. And
Yeah.
so right now, because there aren't any activity issues anymore, previously you could say that there were activity issues with MTF, but for the most part, they've been ironed out. And that ultimately means there is no reason to add a quota.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. With already having no quota, Delta still has at a daily top, I believe, of 20 or more members on the game. So quota without the confines, the shackles of quota, people are free to enjoy the game without that fear of being removed due to them just missing just a few minutes.
And yes, we still need
Exactly.
quota. We still need at least we still need people being somewhat active so we don't have people just filling up the spot. But we don't need it to be absurdly big, such as like over 2 hours, 3 hours, like it used to be. I think that's why the game. It was one of the main factors of why the game died. Me
Yeah.
You
personally.
have to keep in
Yeah.
mind that if you cannot let someone completely disappear, and I know there's two people I know of just in departments that I'm in who have completely disappeared and haven't touched the site. They might not even know that it's back yet or that it's
Yeah.
active and they can get on it. It's with the new activity log system, it's better to not have a quota, but instead look at who has been spending a significant less amount of time on the site than everyone else and go
hmm
from there. Because if somebody logs 0 hours like a week or 2 weeks in a row, that is an issue. And they probably should be removed unless they have an activity notice or something.
Yeah. I mean, personally, for EC, after we got that activity logs, I was really glad to see that. I mean, we have a small department. Activity is pretty important, like, because we can't just entirely go off people reporting. So, like, as of right now, the HR team is going to be monitoring activity logs, see who's getting in game, like, and if someone's not getting in game, they shouldn't be here. They're just hogging a spot that someone else might be way more active in and contribute way more to the department and the
Right, and
site
when you're
overall.
thinking of those smaller departments, specifically EC, all the task forces or RRT,
Mhm.
it's better to have people active in there. You don't want people
Yeah,
just sitting dead because they're just wasting spots that could be used for other people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like SD. I mean, that's a massive. I think they're doing really well actually with their member count. They have like I want to say like 200 or something like that.
I believe they're almost at 300 people in the group,
Yeah,
actually.
What?
like
Really?
Oof.
that's
Wow.
insane. Like I just shout out to Katie Carr and her directorate. Like that's props to you guys. I mean, like for a department like that, I feel like it really just comes down to monitoring at least high com activity. Because I mean, seeing all these all these recruits, like you're not gonna want to go through all that and note all these names down. I mean, maybe they might, but then again, it's mainly up to the high com and departments like those.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Right now. Oh, sorry.
You can go. You can go. You can go.
I was just gonna mention real quick that Katie's director doesn't even have an assistant director right now. It is
Yeah.
only Bonnie and Katie right now.
Hmm. I mean, hopefully they're working closely with their captains as well, keeping them involved and having that multiple inputs. So, I mean, either way, they're doing well right now. Props to the entire security department.
Yeah, props to them.
Yeah.
I would, however, right now on site, there's only one security department on team. I believe that number should be a lot higher than that. Maybe one of our live viewers can get that number up tonight.
And you just got 10 E11 in game right now.
I think a lot of A1 are in game as well. I mean, recently they stormed our set, so I mean,
Yeah, well, they didn't do a good job at protecting our
they,
host.
they did not. He was assassinated, but we managed to revive him. It's all good.
Yeah, fuck Katie Carr for doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so going back to the whole quota thing, even with all that the quota logging, they just want to see who's not getting on the most.
Hmm.
Like we can go back to E11 E11. Currently the person with the top time is a recruit. This
Hmm.
recruit has a total of 20 hours, 45 minutes and 55 seconds logged.
And
This
currently
guy
in game right
just
now.
joined
Currently in game right now.
this currently in game right now.
Yeah, he's
Just
in game
got
too.
in yesterday. I think. Was it yesterday?
I think it was
I
like
believe it was the day before.
3 days ago or 2 days
3
ago.
days ago. Yeah,
Somewhere
there we
around
go.
That is still
No,
bad. That is still
2
huge.
days ago. He got in 2 days ago. And there's already 20 hours long.
Sure, go fast.
I mean,
Go be fast.
that's
That's commitment.
that's
Who is
insane
it?
dedication.
Close the door. Close
I
the
feel
door.
like we should keep him unnamed. Don't
We'll
want
keep
to.
him unnamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do.
After the
Those who
recording,
know.
we'll let you know, NP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but without the restrictions of quota, we can have people like this get on 20
Mhm.
hours logged on one team in 2 days.
They can
Like,
have the fun they want. They don't have
yeah.
to feel like it's a chore. They don't have to feel required to do something for something they just want to have fun in. It shouldn't feel like a job. This is Roblox. We're here to have fun. We're here to talk, communicate. Like it should not be a chore.
Yeah. And with that, like with when there's a lot of riots, there's a lot of stuff happening. When combative pager goes off, I believe a lot of combatives do join just to fight and have fun because there's no quota.
Exactly.
I'm just like thinking about that.
All right.
20 hours and still in game right now. And those 3 days, you spent one whole day on site Delta. 24
I
hours.
mean,
That's like
A third of his time on
Yes.
site Delta.
I mean, who knows? You just might have a lot of free time.
Yeah, a lot of free
It was the
time.
weekend. It was the weekend.
It was the weekend. It
it was
was.
the weekend.
I mean, how much time we looking on this segment?
Oh, I do have a.
We can
I
keep
do
going
have-
until since it's the last one, we can keep going until we all want to stop.
All right.
One of our lovely site directors just messaged me a picture with 40 hours logged on site Delta in the past 7 days.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Now, would
That's
I
insane.
like to disclose this a highly accredited site director?
Let's do it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's say the crowd.
let's see it.
Alrighty.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. So Icy Coral Reef with 40 hours in
Yeah,
the past
holy
70 days.
wow.
That is
Oh my
crazy
god.
commitment, and I appreciate us folks here at the Delta Podcast appreciate your time and value.
Viewers, live
Same
viewers,
goes with that guy with 20 hours on log.
live
Mhm.
viewers
Yep.
and current viewers that watch this later on. Please spam ping them right now in chin posting. You'll probably get
Yes,
muted,
and that is
but
Icy Coral Reef. Icy Coral Reef.
Also, remember to ping Endo on their
just for
on their
fun.
commitments to the
Just while we're at
development.
it, while we're at it, just ping Indo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, once again, another reminder. Please ping Endo and Creepy and Kiwi. Tell them how good they're doing on development right now. Those guys are actual heroes to this fucking group. I love them.
Yeah.
They truly are.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just have some funny remarks now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we just actually had a special visit from Creepy Pika Cow himself.
It is Mr. Creepy.
He's in the studio. He's in the
He
studio.
walked out. Oh, back.
He is refusing to mic up, but again, props to him for being here, being present.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go off on a weird side tangent, but whoever's
Wait,
a
who's
football.
that?
What?
Was that on the table?
It's Katie Carr.
That
Very
is
small.
that is a tiny person on the table.
Wait a second. So going off on a side tangent, football is on right now, and I like to say it all here.
The Browns
I
are
like to say
ass.
it all here.
The Browns are
The
horrible.
Kansas City Chiefs are losing currently to the Buffalo Bills.
No way. No way. The game isn't rigged. Hold on. Wait.
It is
I
a
gotta.
2-point game. Bills have the ball.
I gotta watch it. Hold on.
Let's all huddle up and pray for the Bills to beat Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're from any of those, if you're fans of any of those teams from any of those states or cities, I mean, just you should watch that game. Tap into it.
Yep, and if you're a Ravens fan, I'm sorry for the horrible
And if
offensive line we have.
any Baltimore Marylanders, my biggest condolences to you and Jaffa. This was a heartbreaking day.
And for the
Still
future
wearing my
watchers,
Ravens jersey.
and if we get this wrong, you guys can laugh at us if the Chiefs somehow manage to win.
Yeah.
They'll always find a way somehow.
Alrighty. Should we give? Oh, the 49ers lost. Sorry. I believe that is the end of the Site Delta first rendition of the Site Delta podcast. I'd like to thank our guest talkers. It's Caden T. Lowell, General Droid, and Infinifia.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Those who know.
It was great to be here when I barely spoke. My bad.
And,
Almost went an hour.
And one more
without-
time. Oh, sorry.
And I'd like to give a small thanks to the two people who broke into our studio here. The first one is the DEA05 Voidish Cat, and the second one is the MTF05 Joqua.
Mhm.
Well, hello.
Small thank you to the both of you.
Just coming in here and crashing it.
So
Anytime, my pleasure.
yeah.
And I'd like to give big thanks to the host. What is that now?
Thank
for
you. And
being-
for one final time, sorry, I got my brain fart. We'll go mention our sponsors one more time. First, we have the scientific department. Thank you, Permanently Joyous, for paying absolutely $0 for sponsoring this event. And then the other sponsor, what was it called again?
The 999 Pudding Company.
The 999, pretty good. I heard they put some 420J in there. So if you want to try that
Oh.
out, you can.
I think that's actually limited time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
3.5 gram.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it's not a red 40.
It's 999 flavor. That thing's made out of Red 40.
I will be doing photos and a personal Q&A after the session. So if you want to come up to me, I will gladly take a selfie with you.
Same for me. Also, my cameo price is $5 right now. Please.
Jaffa does amazing cameos.
Hey,
I
drop
would like to
the
say.
GoFundMe right now. We need to pay our devs.
Please don't approach me. I might kill you. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Okay. One final note before we go off. The Site Delta minigun was bought at the current price of
Whoa.
200,000 Robux.
That was a big event. That caught me way off guard.
That's
It
true.
definitely did.
I mean, that's if anything, that just benefits Site Delta. That's fun straight to the development team. That's more updates. That's more
That's more
involvement.
minigunners, more combat, less.
One
That-
more
that
minigun.
is-
problems.
Yeah.
That
One
is-
more minigunner.
A
That
minigun.
is-
Woohoo!
That is converting that is $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think a little bit over $2,000.
Where do
Yeah,
people
that
get this
is-
money from? Like, I'm kind of
That's all
curious.
knows?
Steak.
Those
That
who
is-
know.
That's
Those
That
who
is not our
know.
business to know where they get that money, but we appreciate it.
Those who know.
It's okay if the money's illegal. At least we get it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Alrighty. That's it for the Site Delta podcast.
All right, everyone say
We
bye.
Thank you for listening. We thank you for
Bye.
listening.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And- See you in the next one.
Shout out to my mom. Shout
Roasters.
out to David's mom. Shout out to EC. Shout out to Benakadon. Shout out to all of them.
And a hate shout out to AbiXM.
Oh, I would like to
W.
say that his chair, I'm pretty sure has broke.
We should do a GoFundMe for a share.
Maybe we should. If you would like to donate for a new chair for RBXM, please let us know.
Alrighty, cut it.